dictators tend to believe that the passage of time will erase memories and therefore free them of the sense of accountability. We do that. But also, with our major resources, we try to reach out to the families of those especially that we knew, those that were in struggle, and those that died innocently, like Kamiyat and others. We have an initiative of looking after the victims, trying to keep the children in school, the children of those that were massacred, not only in November 2020, but those that have been killed, those that have disappeared, and those that are in jail. So as a party, we only try to bridge that gap. Of course, it is not as effective as the people that were there, you know. And it is we did not commit this crime. Museveni committed this crime. So we are only trying to bridge the gap, but the most ultimate solution is accountability, is justice for these people.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did rally your people at that time of your arrest to tell them not to resort to violence, but never that's the case. They did resort to violence.
They did not resort to violence.
We have seen the same trajectory with Dr. Kizza Besigye, and it begs the question, is violence the voice that opposition uses to get the regime?
You are insisting we are not violent. You have said it yourself, Priscilla, that even when I was being arrested, when I was being pepper sprayed, I pronounced it, I told our people to be non-violent, because we are non-violent. It is the state that is violent. It is the state that killed people. So it would really be unfair of you to insist that we are the ones that are violent. We are not violent, and we don't advocate for violence. The regime is violent because violence is their only way to respond to our logical challenge.
Okay. Let's project into the future, because this cycle is yet to repeat itself again in 1 year to come. And it begs the question, as a party, how are you strategically enabling people to understand that violence is not the answer and that you are calling for a peaceful transfer of power?
It is not the people of Uganda to be made to understand that violence is not the answer, because they understand it. It is General Museveni and his criminal regime that must understand that violence is not the answer. It can periodically keep them in power, but it's not sustainable.
Okay.
All brutal regimes have come down crumbling. So violence is not the answer. Violence and the Museveni regime are like twins. The people of Uganda are non-violent, because if they were violent, we would have had a civil war already. But we know that violence only creates a vicious circle of violence. So we try as much as possible to dissuade them away from violence.
Okay. Away from that matter, last week we did have the Chisoro by-election in which an independent candidate, Ngabirano, is now member-elect of Chisoro. However, of course, the opposition candidate that you went to rally for, Sultana, came in second position. What is the reflection of her standing in Chisoro towards the acceptance and reception of Chisoro and the National Unity Platform?
Well, I want to welcome back all the people that were in Chisoro, and to congratulate Akifeza, the independent candidate who won. But I'll also add that in the beginning they said NUP is not anywhere in Chisoro. In Chisoro it is NRM Ijana Kuijana. Ijana Kuijana means 100%. They said 100 is 100% NRM. There's no NUP in Chisoro. When we stepped foot there, you saw the support. You saw the masses that came to welcome us. So it shifted from there's no NUP here to, oh yes, you are here, but you will not win, to here it is NRM 100%. Did the NRM candidate win? No. So while we recognize that we did not win the Chisoro by-election, we must be proud that we stepped foot there. Of course, under a lot of intimidation, like you saw. But also, I must mention that the NRM rigging machinery is weakening and losing steam every day. You saw in the morning of the election, there were already complaints, cases, and videos of ballot stuffing were all over in Chisoro. But to see that with all that ballot stuffing, with all that intimidation, with all the bribery, the NRM did not win. that should show us that it is rotten, even where it thought it had 100%.
Yeah. In that regard, it gives you a picture of how Western Uganda is responding to the opposition. Does it show you that maybe in the coming election you will have a better ground for people to believe in the cause that you're pushing for?
We've always had a good ground. Of course, we can have a better ground. But what we need is to be left alone. What we need is to have no violence, no intimidation, no ballot stuffing, no irregularities in elections. I'm not saying that we will sweep 100% all through Western Uganda, but we can beat our opponents, as it has been shown in the past. You have seen in 2021, most parts of Western Uganda were not allowed to vote for president. You would get to the polling station, they say, okay, you can cast a ballot for your MP, president has already voted for you. So that was the case. These are the trends that we're trying to reverse. Some we reversed them 100%, others we are reversing them slowly by slowly. We have fear to deal with. We have radicalization and brainwash to deal with, but we are taking it one step at a day, and we're making great progress.
Okay, speaking of progress, you've also made great progress with the nationwide tours that you have been having. And it begs the question, I know one of the things that you have been doing is opening up party offices in all the locations that you have been going to. What other strategies and partnerships and things have you been doing to the different districts and communities and supporters in the regions?
Some, I'll tell you, some I won't tell you, but what I'll tell you is that we have openly been going around the country, trying to galvanize our support, trying to, embolden the people, because there's a great, great effort to intimidate the people of Uganda and to make them, give up on democracy, to make them give up on the hope for change. We go around reigniting the hope of the people. Reasserting our leaders in those areas. We noticed that in 2021 what the regime did is to deny us leadership. Wherever we had candidates, they either intimidated them out of the race or bought them out. So we are moving to anchor our leaders in various areas, because some of them actually sold us out, as you noticed. So we keep going to anchor our leaders, to meet our people, to reassert ourselves, and to remind them that our hope is alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is on the side of the National Unity Platform. Let's flip it to the side of the people. You have been interacting with the locals on ground, the natives. What is their voice to power?
Their voice to power is enough is enough. Enough of the poverty, enough of the dehumanization, enough of being downtrodden. We were in Busoga. And the regime, in its wisdom or lack of it, denied us the right to move on the main roads. They pushed us into the dusty road, into the remote areas. They didn't want us to go past towns because they thought it would expose massive support for us, which they don't want the world to see. But this was an advantage, because wherever we went through, oh my God, we went through Busoga, and it was sickening. The poverty that is crushing people who are seated on very productive land. You would see acres and acres of sugarcane, but knowing that that sugarcane does not benefit them because it was crushed. We went to Karamoja, the same thing, and the subjugation, because there was a roadblock after a few kilometers. We went to Teso, same thing. We came from there, went to Kisoro, not any different. Now, the last one before they came in to stop us was in Buyukwe, here in Buganda. And wherever we go, we speak about the peculiar problems that are in those areas, and we also show them how to overcome them. We talked about sugarcane in Busoga, which was their bread and butter, but now it is taken over, especially by foreigners. We spoke about the minerals in Karamoja. We spoke about the past glory of Teso, Those people used to grow lots of cotton and benefit from it, but even the Guinery is nowhere to be seen anymore. Their Rufla of Teso, is not functioning anymore, thanks to the fact that they did not compensate their cattle that was taken. Same story everywhere. Here in Uganda, we spoke about the recent takeover of their coffee, which we all know is not anything to do with rationalization, but it's everything to do with economic impoverishment, with taking over everything that the people of Uganda have, just like they did it to Busoga, just like they did it to Teso, to Karamoja, and all these other regions. Okay. So we keep going around, opening the eyes of the common people to the very basic and simple realities, to make them understand that they need the change. And glad enough, they understand.